I promise you this, if you're buying a lot of houses, you're gonna be painting a lot of houses, and painting a house has a little bit more to it than most people think. And if you make a mistake, you could end up painting a house multiple times. So rule 101, write down the paint color that you used on the house and where you got it, because nothing sucks worse than having to paint a house twice and spend twice the money. So I was a little bit taken back, to be honest, with all the questions I had coming in about painting a house. You know, about primer, or what color should I use, or how much should I spend, or should I spray, or should I roll it, or what is eggshell? So guys, in today's video, I'm gonna go through and knock out all these different questions that y'all sent in. I appreciate those of you who are sending in questions, because this channel is for you. I'm filming this so I can cut down your path on your learning curve to being a real estate entrepreneur, hopefully helping you quit your job sooner. And so I'm sincerely, genuinely thankful and grateful for those of you following the channel, and I hope that I can help you do so, and I hope I can help you hit your goals quicker. And if you have questions, put them in the comment box below. I do read them personally, and I will get back to you. And I'm gonna try to film a video for all of them. And if it's a question I don't know how to answer, I'll just tell you this isn't best answered by me, but if I know how to do it and I've done it before and I can act from firsthand experience, I'm gonna tell you my answer. I'm gonna give you my opinion, which is what I'm giving you on this channel. This is all my opinion. So a lot of you are gonna agree with me on a lot of things. A lot of you are gonna change what you're doing and do what I tell you to do. Some of you are gonna be like, man, I don't like this guy. I don't really care for his answer, and I don't believe it, and I'm just gonna continue on doing what I'm gonna do and go that way, which is fine. But a lot of y'all ask about painting, and I guess looking back now, I guess I did have a lot of these same questions, and I guess it was something that was kind of more, I guess, there's more to it than I thought. And now looking back, I guess I understand where all these questions are coming from. So I'm gonna go through and talk about the whole painting process for you and hopefully help a lot of you out. So look at it like this, right? We have this spectrum. Over here you got flat color, and over here you got your glossy, right? And all the different types of finish out in between. And so flat side over here, you got all your matte colored. It's basically a dull flat paint. And over here for to stand out, you got a super glossy on the far end. And in between, it kind of breaks down like this. So guys, I know when you go to the paint shop, or you go to Home Depot or whatever, and you see all these different colors, and you're like, whoa, there's all these different, or not colors, but finishes. This is a lot of choices, right? And so you see it looks like this. It starts over here, you got flat, and then you move to matte, eggshell, satin, semi-gloss, high gloss. So that's kind of how it steps up. And as you go across the spectrum, you get shinier and glossier, and we use each of these for a different thing. And so I'm gonna kind of help you break that down, what we use them for. Now everybody's got their own decision and own opinion on what they use it for, but traditionally a flat paint is used for ceilings. Why? Because, well, people don't want a shiny ceiling. They don't want their lights reflecting off it. They don't want attention being brought up to the ceiling, so they use a flat paint. Now, does this always happen? No. I've seen a lot of houses where they had popcorn ceilings where people came in and painted it with like a glossy paint, and it didn't look too bad. But you're gonna have to make that decision. Now, traditionally, that's what you use for the ceilings, and then you move into the main surfaces of the house, right? You got your walls, your hallways, and what do you see most commonly here? Well, matte or an eggshell finish. Probably eggshell is the most commonly used, at least if you asked around to your friends. That's what I see most people using, and that's kind of what we use too, and I'll talk about what we use on the bottom of this video, exactly what we're doing in my personal business. So then you go into the accent points of the house, right? This is where we're gonna use semi-gloss or high gloss, because we want them to pop, we want them to stand out. What are we doing here? Well, our trim, our crown molding, right? Our doors, our kitchen and bathroom counters, or not counters, but cabinets, right? This is what we're using a high gloss on or a semi-gloss on, because we want it to pop. We want it to stand out, and we want it to bring attention to it, because that's the accent of our house. So that's kind of how it breaks down. Ceiling flat, walls eggshell, cabinets maybe semi-gloss, or really, if you want to make them stand out, high gloss. Now, a lot of y'all are asking, do I spray or do I roll? Well, if I have a house and I can get this house painted being sprayed or rolled, and they're roughly the same price, I'm gonna roll it every time. I think it looks nicer, I think it's cleaner, and I think that it looks like a nicer, thicker paint job, and it just, you know, looks more quality, right? It looks like a higher quality has been done. Now, the reason why I don't like spraying a house is this. Overspray. Go back and watch that other video about the 3 things I don't like contractors doing. They overspray everywhere. You may have just put in brand new windows. You're gonna get overspray over your windows, over your floors. If they're on the outside of the house, it's gonna get on your bricks. It's gonna get on your grass in your yard. It's gonna get on your basically your walkways, your driveway. It's a pain in the butt, right? You don't wanna have to deal with it. And yes, it all comes up, but nobody wants to be out there or hire someone with a wire brush getting it off the brick, right? Especially when you have a nice house with a nice brick pattern. Nobody wants to be on their hands and knees getting it off the floors. Nobody wants to be having to wipe it off the windows and off your new fans and everything, guys, or whatever. So these painters, Their job is to paint the house, get in and out as fast as they can to get to the next job, because that's how they make more money, is to do as many jobs as they can in a short time period as they can, which is the same thing we're trying to do with our houses. And they don't care if they paint over it, and trust me, most of them don't come back and fix it. So that's the main reason why I don't like rolling a house versus spraying. Here's a real life example for me that I hope you can avoid. If they're spraying the house, make sure you turn off your HVAC system. How do I know? Well, because one time on 4th of July, I had some painters paint my house, and they had it going full blast because it was a summer, and they were spraying, and they had basically it all sucked in there, and it froze up the HVAC system. And 5 days later, I came back and it had flooded my entire place, right? I just put in like $6,000 floors, and do you think the painters paid for it? Of course not. They denied it, right? So if you ever standing in the house or doing anything, whether you have a bunch of particles or something that's going to disturb the air, that's going to be thick in the air, turn off your HVAC system. Don't let it get sucked up in there, and consistently change those filters. They're a few dollars or less, and this is going to save you a lot of headache, and you can buy a whole box of them, and they're really cheap. Just consistently change them in and out. But that's a good reason why I like rolling houses and not painting them, or not spraying them. So I hope that helps. Also, someone asked about primer. Do I primer before I paint? No, I usually just do a paint and primer mix, unless the house was painted black or like a dark brown or something where you really need to kind of really get a good coat a primer over it. It's usually you're okay with the quality of paint that we have now and how thick it is. You're usually okay with just going in on one coat right over it. So a lot of y'all asked about the color that we're using. Now this is going to be market specific. Now we filmed a video earlier on in the channel called How to Sell a House, I believe, for the highest price per square foot possible. And I talk about how we go into the MLS, pull the top of the comps for that area, and see what's traditionally selling at the highest price per square foot. So if light gray houses are selling for $100 a square foot, and kill beige houses, which is a common color that used to be used like 10 years ago, which people are still using, is selling for $90 a square foot, there's your answer. Go look at your comps in your area, see what people in your area like, and use the same colors, match the colors of the highest price per square foot property that the properties are selling at. And that's how you're gonna pick out which color to use, or if you just have a traditional color that you like. We right now in Dallas-Fort Worth are using a light gray, a smoky gray, kind of similar to the one behind me, but actually a little bit different shade. And we use this in almost all our houses. We're using black and white granite, stainless steel appliances, a darker floor, and that's kind of what we're using in our business with lighter showers as far as tile goes. So look at the comps in your area and figure out what's working best for you, because it may be different. You may be needing to use a lighter brown or a darker brown or whatever. You'll see the pattern and just kind of go with that. So what type of paint are we using? Well, you have all these different places out there, and guys, you don't want to just go to some hole-in-the-wall place because you heard it's cheaper and they're going to get you a bucket of paint for 30 bucks. You get what you pay for, and a lot of times you're buying water with a few drops of paint in it, and you're going to end up getting into a tough spot where you have to paint the house over and over and over. And so a lot of investors are taught to cut corners. They think cutting corners is the best way to go. This is always going to be the worst thing you can do. Watch the video we just put out on the granite, why I put granite in my rental properties. I do everything as nice as possible because it pays me off over and over. If you're cutting corners consistently, guys, what's gonna happen, and we're not talking about paint, but just cutting corners in general here, when you get to inspection time, you're gonna have to go back and do things again and do it right like you should have done the first time, and then you paid for it to do it the wrong way and the right way, and it's more expensive, plus it's a lot more headache. Guys, it's a lot more expensive to buy cheap paint than it is to buy the top of the line paint from the get-go. Why? Because when you have to paint your counter or your cabinets 4 or 5 times, and because the paint keeps sinking in and it keeps sucking in because all the grooves in the wood, you're gonna realize that's a lot of labor cost, and saving $50 in paint but paying $300 more in labor, the math doesn't work out. Pick the best paint you can. It's gonna look nicer, and guys, this is something that you do not want to cut corners on. Make your houses look nice. A clean paint job sells a house every time. Make it clean, don't have overspray, don't have sloppy drips everywhere. Make sure it's done right, because these things homeowners look for when they're going out to look for a house, and you want to make sure you do it right. So do not buy cheap paint. We buy the top of the line paint at Home Depot, and yes, we do buy our paint at Home Depot. I don't support Home Depot. I'm not a part of Home Depot. I'm just telling you this is where we go. And the reason why is logistically it's the most, it makes the most sense for us in our business, because there's a Home Depot or a Lowe's on every corner. And sometimes we buy it at Lowe's, but we have discounts at Home Depot, so that's where we go. Now, I use what's called a marquee, I believe it's called. It's like a maroon can. It's their top of the paint that they have. I think they got like 6 different types of paint. They also have, what is it, like Premium Ultra or something like that, the second in line. We use one of these too. Why? Because they guarantee it's a one coat, it's a good thick paint. We hit it one time, we don't have to worry about going back and painting the house over and over and over, because it's that extra labor cost that's gonna hurt you in the long run. So don't be worried about costs on the front side as far as how much the paint goes. This is an expense that's worth it every time to pay for it. Now, so let's go back to kind of my properties and what I do, because a lot of y'all asked, how do I paint my houses? Ceiling, we use a flat paint. Then we use, for the walls, we use eggshell. And then for the trim and doors and everything else, we're using a semi-gloss. That's kind of how we do our properties. We do roll them almost every time, because my guys will do it pretty cheap, but I got some guys on salary, and they just work better for me. But if you're gonna save a lot of money spraying it, kind of look at it, how much you're gonna save, and do it that way. So I hope that I gave you a lot of help. Yeah, one more question I think someone asked me was, how much should I be paying? You know, typically guys, you wanna get it done between $1 and $1.50 a square foot. Now, if you have a house that is a 2-story house and you got high walls and they have to bring in scaffolding, you're gonna have to pay a little bit more for that, right? So, and also, like, it just depends on how custom the paint job is. But traditionally, if you're just doing a run and gun on a quick house, a basic level rehab or a rent house, you should be paying a little over $1 a square foot. That's a good price to pay, or hovering around there. So guys, I hope that helps, guys, on all the different things you need to know about painting. If I missed anything, blow me up on email and I'll try to get that for you. Remember to go over and check out our brand new channel, Investor Army Podcast. So we do have 2 channels now, and we're gonna be putting out a lot more videos and interviews on that channel as well. Subscribe to this channel if you like it, and I'll see you on the next video.